Deep in the North Atlantic Ocean, near the northwest coast of Africa, there lies the autonomous region of Madeira, where 20 Bitcoiners are trying to achieve the unthinkable.
Madeira is going to be competing with the likes of countries that adopted it already, like El Salvador.
In this video, I will show you how we gathered people from all over the world to embark on a secret mission to try to convince the president of Madeira to embrace Bitcoin on the island.
If this goes right, magic could happen here. Love this guy. Look at him.
Everything started with this Bitcoiner. His name is Andrew and he's from Madeira.
Strange feeling to be.
Good morning, Mr. Bitcoin.
Good morning.
And he had a pretty crazy idea. What would happen if he tries to convince the president of Madeira to embrace Bitcoin?
And then there was a chain of events, crazy chain of events that led to that.
He was reaching out to a couple of Bitcoiners from all over the world, and all of them came to Madeira to help him to make this happen. Can Madeira become the #1 Bitcoin place in Europe? What can the government do? And what's the right approach to help them to make it happen?
We started off by introducing everyone around the table. And that's why I can say I'm very impressed by the brain power at the table.
A fantastic group of people here, effectively trying to integrate Bitcoin into the economy here and finding the best path to de-risk it for the government to be able to bring Bitcoin adoption here and build the future of Madeira on a monetary standard that's sound and attract global talent to Madeira. So really exciting first steps.
We just discussed do we want to frame Bitcoin, how do we want to frame the Bitcoin mining, just to make a general overview about the strategy.
And yeah, we're setting all this up now at the speed of light to help the government pursue the Bitcoin strategy for Madeira.
After going through the strategies on how to talk to the government officials, it was finally time to test them in real life.
So we are on our way into the finance ministry to talk to the finance minister.
We didn't know if he ever heard about Bitcoin before, and also it was quite unsure how he would react to everything we would say.
Morning.
I think one of the really impactful things about that meeting was that we all had a chance at the beginning to go around one by one and explain why we were all passionate about Bitcoin. You had entrepreneurs, you had philosophers, you had people that were writers involved in education. From my side, it was previous involvement in government, and all of us had made some kind of pivot in our lives towards Bitcoin for different reasons, but all because we believe that Bitcoin offers a real technological solution for bringing about a better world. And it seems that he's bought into a long-term future with sound money. He sees the benefits from having non-inflationary money, from having money in the hands of citizens where citizens have real control. And so there are a lot of possibilities that I think he's open to, but being able to talk to him face to face and really get those messages across was, I think, really instrumental in forging a relationship that hopefully we can develop more in the coming months.
And so if Bitcoin becomes about price, or it looks like a whole bunch of people thinking just about price, then the president's ratings are gonna go up and down based on price. This is a system change that's way more important, and we need to make sure that it's delivered as a system change for kind of prosperity for the future.
This was the first time I realized how surreal this actually is. We've been just meeting with government officials to talk about Bitcoin and how Bitcoin is changing lives. How Bitcoin changed my life. How Bitcoin changed the lives of everybody in this room. It was a special energy having all of those people together trying to make the world a better place. And I kept thinking about the upcoming meeting with the president and if he would also understand why Bitcoin can lead the world to a better place. On the next day, we had a meeting scheduled with the Energy Ministry to talk about Bitcoin mining.
Thank you for having us. I'm from Canada.
You may be wondering why we're doing this. There's a lot of misunderstanding about Bitcoin mining and its effect in terms of energy and wasting of energy and so on. Now, people within the Bitcoin space understand that it's not actually the problem, but it's actually part of the solution to helping us achieve our goals in terms of renewable energy.
I think they get it. This is an island grid. They cannot solve the problems with interconnections to other grids. When they don't have power, they just flat out don't have power. When they have excess power, there's no one to give that power to. And I think they get that Bitcoin mining is uniquely flexible as a consumer of power, that it could monetize electricity.
Ultimately, what we'd like to see, what I'd like to see anyway, is a pilot project.
This is an experiment. This whole island is an experiment in renewables, and they will confront the problems of renewable energy before anyone else does. And we'd like that experiment to include Bitcoin, and I think they see that.
They were engaged, they were asking questions, like, you don't get it in a 1 hour meeting, but at least they were thinking, right? I had to apologize to them at the end when I threw some euros at them and told them it was shit. It's a piece of shit. But then I went to them and said, well, if your euro shit, the Canadian dollar is way, way worse, okay? So I was trying to make it up to them. So hopefully I didn't make too many enemies in there.
They are highly regulated. They have an interesting relation with the EU when it comes to power, and the mainland when it comes to power. And those bureaucratic systems and those agreements complicate the most straightforward way to do the experiment. But I was just heartened by the fact that we had a lot of mutual education going on in that room. Okay. We learned a lot about how this power system works, this grid works, this energy economy, and I think they learned a lot about the flexibility and potential that lies within Bitcoin. And I think there was some excitement for doing some kind of pilot program of some kind of scale, where we put some Bitcoin miners behind the meter at a wind farm and only use electricity when the grid does not need any electricity. And we study that, we write it up, and we present it to the other wind producers on this island, but not just the other wind producers, hopefully wind producers everywhere.
After having all of those official talks, I also wanted to talk to some locals. And then walking into the town, I saw something very intriguing.
Why are you pushing the cars like this?
One, because it's a downhill, and the other to save petrol on fuel. Fuel is very expensive in Madeira.
Yeah?
Diesel is nearly 2 years, 180 going up another 5 cents. Yeah, well, the price is just goes up.
Yeah. How is it for you as taxi drivers with the prices going up?
Yeah, well, look, it's not easy. It's not easy for us. You understand? It's complicated.
You might have started feeling the inflationary pressures for the first time in the last year. A variety of factors contribute to inflation, but one of the biggest drivers is an ever-expanding monetary policy, printing money. It's not really that everything around you gets more expensive. What is really happening is that your money's purchasing power is declining. While talking to the taxi drivers, they actually understood how Bitcoin might help them to circumvent inflationary pressures. It actually astonished me that once I told them that it's basically digital gold and they saw how easy it is to use, they wanted to try it out. So we downloaded a wallet for them and I sent them some Bitcoin.
What do you think is most important for him to understand today?
Oh, it's a great question. I think he's got to understand that it's got a great potential to help his country a lot in terms of tourism and development and being forward-thinking. Also, as the euro continues to depreciate, he'll be helping his own people, right? If they're dealing in Bitcoin, saving in Bitcoin, they're going to get ahead. Obviously, volatilely, but they're going to, generally speaking, get ahead. So, I think there's a great chance he's going to go for it. I mean, that's my view of it. Yeah. We'll have to see, obviously.
So this is the palace here. We're about to meet with the president the first time. The whole Bitcoin delegation is with us, and yeah, we're gonna try to orange pill him and explain to him why this island should embrace Bitcoin. So let's go.
Nice to see you. Good to meet you. So I can take a coffee, no?
Yes. Yes. Let's get into the palace. So we arrived inside the palace and this is crazy. Look at this place.
I think you know the existing financial system is going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yes.
And the future is going to be built on technology and and Bitcoin and where.
I read your book.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a fantastic book.
So you launched that you're Bitcoin friendly. That you're going to kind of protect Bitcoin. Here's what you're going to do. The first thing that's going to happen, a lot more tourists.
Yeah.
Second thing that's going to happen, a lot of those people like us, there's many people at this table that are already going to golden visas
Yes, good.
and then move here. So that's the second thing. And then a long-term economic activity. What ideal would be a tax credit for Bitcoin companies to locate here.
We produce 21,000 tons of banana, and we have to send the banana to Europe. That have costs. We don't have scale, because you're not in the middle of the continent, you're in the middle of the markets, you don't have the scale. What's happened with the digital and the transition is like that. You can produce everything here, and to sell everywhere, and to conquer all the markets, because it's a digital. The cost is the same. And you can have a quality of life, you can have a good ecosystem, friendly system for you to introduce.
What a special opportunity for Madeira. What a special opportunity for you. The one thing that you're going to face potential resistance from the EU, because the EU is kind of not as Bitcoin friendly. And that provides, and the existing economic system is starting to crack. And as that cracks, they're going to, eventually the EU won't be able to hold together over time because of that cracking. And the people that go to Bitcoin first are going to have all the talent moved there. But it is going to create a little bit of a tension.
But that you have to understand something. What they want. Now they are very happy because the loan is crashing and tech is crashing, and they are very happy, the guys from the central banks. But the point, no, it's true.
I know.
I read these things, I know these things. And comes Bill Gates to say something about that. But that is not the point. The point is like that. In the future, the people is going to use digital. And that is the point.
That's the point. Really exciting. I think President is very pro-Bitcoin, very pro where the world's moving in a digital economy, and he wants to attract the best talent to Madeira. So this is going to be pretty exciting. I think we're going to create Madeira as a real special hub for Bitcoiners.
Yeah. So do you think we convinced him to adopt Bitcoin or embrace Bitcoin?
I'm pretty sure we did. I think he was convinced even before this. He'd been doing a lot of reading before this, but this was really helpful in the way forward.
Different members of the government are in different stages of the journey of understanding Bitcoin, but I think there's a good mutual understanding between this Bitcoiner community and the government about the areas of overlap in our common goals.
The Madeiran government and the people we met here have been open, they've been well researched, they've investigated what's going on, and they have their challenges and they have their own priorities, but they are open to listening and understanding, so that makes me very hopeful.
For the first time in history, Madeira has an advantage on this connected digital world of the future.
So the government recognizes that being friendly to Bitcoiners and welcoming to the Bitcoin ecosystem will enable them to scale their economy in a way that's indifferent to connection by land.
It's hard not to come to the conclusion that it's the right solution.
Yeah.
It's hard not to get there, but it takes time. You know, people are scared.
Learn about Bitcoin. Learn about why this transition is so important for you and where it takes you, because the opportunities are endless on top of this protocol.
I'm quite hopeful that we can guide this to a safer harbor for the future.
And this finally marks the start of Free Madeira, which is a non-profit organization focused on Bitcoin adoption and education in the Madeiran region. The organization will help everyone on the island with the transition to the new monetary paradigm, from retailers to politicians, as well as the man on the street. Free Madeira believes that this revolution in money is inevitable, and that local initiatives such as Free Madeira will be crucial in making the transition smoother. Bitcoin adoption is technology adoption, and our future internet will be built upon this fascinating new base layer of value. And the regions that embrace this new reality early on will become the Silicon Valleys of the future. So let's see what the future brings to Madeira.